on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, miss you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we're gonna make it.
Dionna, we're back for another episode. And we have got some great news, some wild news, and some bad news. You know, what's been going on in the market lately? That's probably the bad news. Let's just go there.
We just get the bad news out of the way because the good news is really good, and I don't want to end the market sucks. Although it's up today, so
yeah. You know what the bad news is to me right now? Lawyers are determining the space. People in the government, like congressmen, the lobbyists. I mean, now would be a really great time to be a lobbyist or a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lawyer in this space has always been a good idea.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. Like, go ahead, just run through like top of mind all the lawsuits that are out there.
Oh my goodness! So we know that the SEC sued XRP, and XRP sued the SEC, and the SEC is suing Coinbase, and actually, I think Coinbase is suing the SEC as well.
Are they asked for summary judgment? Ethereum's suing them back.
Yep, Ethereum's suing them. Why? There's one more. Why am I missing one? What am I missing, Jim?
Coinbase, Ethereum, the whole. I don't even know anymore.
But then, like Roger Vere's in jail, but that's not. Yeah, it's just craziness.
So I was looking through the list of lawsuits, and one struck me. I'm going to share it with you. Crypto industry groups sues the SEC. This is probably the one you were thinking about. It's closer to home. It's in Texas. It's about the blockchain.
Yeah.
And you can see that the Blockchain Association, which they're a group out of Washington, D.C., and the Crypto Freedom Alliance of Texas, sued the SEC in Texas. Now, that's our hometown. That's our home court, right?
Yeah.
And so they're challenging the SEC's rule to expand the definition of a dealer to capture digital assets. And without going in and reading the whole thing to you, essentially what I think this means is that they wanted to not just try to capture regulatory capture of investors, but like all the people in the middle, all the miners, all the people working on mining stations. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
And so without going into all the elements, they really, and we've seen it before, like the regulatory overreach can be quite extensive. So
yeah,
I was like,
the SEC, they put out a law that essentially made the reporting requirements that even down to a miner, somebody who mines crypto is supposed to like be able to record and maintain every single transaction. And, they put out this guidance and then they didn't give any way of guiding it. There's no forms, there's no what to submit, there's no how to submit. So even if you could, even if you were able to track every transaction, so they just asked for something.
That to me would be like charging a website developer for working on a website. I mean, that's what I think of when I look at this. It's a lot
or it'd be
to
like
consider.
It would say the website developer has to know every single user that comes to the website. That would be equivalent.
Yeah.
Right. Why would the website
developer while that makes sense, it makes sense if you're talking about an exchange more so.
Yep.
But it does not make sense when you're talking about a miner. And so they were kind of doing this overarching, broad reaching, gone too far.
Yep.
So to your earlier point, somebody reached out and sued them. And this company, I'm from Texas, and I'm like, And you and I have done a lot of great work with the Texas Blockchain Council. There are some really great organizations in the state of Texas.
Yeah,
this is just not one that I had heard of. So of course, what am I going to do? The internet is your friend. Here we go down the rabbit hole. Are you ready for a little rabbit hole?
Now you're speaking women language. Every girl in here just resonated with this whole thing because we're doing some digging.
All right, we're digging in. We're finding out. So we can become a member. You can, I can. We're from Texas. Why wouldn't we want to be part of this thing? Kind of a nice little form fill.
Yep.
Locations up there in Fort Worth. Pretty innocent info at cryptofreedomalliancetex.org. I mean, but you have this saying, Dionna, what is it about if you can't find the people?
Yeah, I mean, I'm questioning it a little bit. Like, they're hiding their identity for a reason. Let's go about us. Because sometimes when you go to the about us, you find out a little bit more.
Well, they have priorities.
Who doesn't?
They want regulation. That's good.
Smart.
They want it lawful enforcement. They want cooperation. they want education,
Yeah.
and they want to build. So sounds good. Here's what they believe in: innovation, transparency, collaboration, education. That's pretty consistent back and forth. So they've done some strategic work. They've got a nice longhorn cattle here. And then I can sign up.
Okay, not
There's my
feeling
contact.
super great about this organization so far, like especially with the cattle in there. It was kind of a weird spot for it, and the lack of information. But let's go to news
but
info.
This group sued the SEC, right? And so this is the rabbit hole. We're just going to keep going. They've got press releases. Let's check out. They filed this lawsuit. They create a suit. They unlawful targeting, challenged a new lawsuit from the. So they're suing the SEC quite a bit.
Wow, they've got some big leverage, huh? All right. Well, maybe that's why they don't want anybody to know who they are. They want to protect themselves.
They have blogs. They have resources. I don't know how much it costs to become a member, but I don't want to delay the inevitable.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Let's go.
I might look at
it. So the next thing I wanted to do was find out. I'm going to need you to carry me for just a second here.
Sure. So for anybody who doesn't know, Jim and I actually met through the Texas Blockchain Council. We were co-hosting meetups to educate people on cryptocurrency and blockchain. And we got to meet some fantastic projects that are all here in Texas, as well as work with Governor Abbott to expand the industry into mining, because Texas has solar, wind, gas. We've got everything you need. You could come here. We're energy efficient. We have fantastic tax breaks. And I don't want anybody else. Really hot. It's horrible. You don't want to move here. But that's how we met.
That's a lot. You want to be smart about it. And we met each other. Dionna, I think at the time, was interviewing people like Warren Davidson from Ohio, House of Representatives, as well as a myriad of other people. She's a great instructor, trainer, brings people into the space. And I, a couple of years later, was working with Lee and the team there, interviewing CFTC Commissioner Summer Mersinger, talking to Natalie Brunell on camera, all the things to connect the people. And so once you spend time in this space, you realize a couple of things. One, how talented and intellectually capable most of the people are in this space. And so that's why when I was looking at this, no fool out there is going to be suing the SEC, right? And if you spend any time with Dionna, you realize she's really smart, and we pay attention. And so as we're listening and we're hearing and we're seeing, and I'm watching these SEC lawsuits happen, and I'm like, there's a new player, and they're from Texas, and I have no idea. And their website has nothing on it. So what I did, I went to the Secretary of State for Texas, and I pulled up same Fort Worth address. So I'm in the right spot. And I look down there in the management section of that particular website. And I want you to, if you got a piece of paper at home, jot down the names that we've got here. We've got Seth, Sierra, right? Kara, or Kiara.
Kara.
Can't even know if I'm saying it right.
Kara.
And then Brian.
That's Kara. Yeah.
Kara. Okay. So I'm like, oh, I know that Brian name. I've seen that Brian name before. Because like I had mentioned, I had interviewed CFTC Commissioner Summer Mersinger. So guess what? There's another CFTC commissioner out there, former, that kind of his name lines up with, well.
Can you hear it?
Dun, dun, dun. Let me make sure I've got the right. Taking too long.
So believe it or not, I did play the drums in school.
You did. I believe you.
Wow.
How about that?
Look at that picture.
How about this guy?
It's like an oil painting of him. That's great.
I don't know. Great. Maybe the resolution on my screen. I'm not sure.
The former commissioner of the FTC is suing the SEC repeatedly. It's great.
Yeah.
CFTC.
Yeah.
CFTC.
And he's also with Andreessen Horowitz. So I thought that was kind of a big deal. And I said, okay, that's pretty good reveal there. A little dramatic reveal. So if we go back and we look at next on the list, let's go take a look at, because it's 4 power players, or, maybe it's just he's leading the show. Let's take a look at Kara. What's Kara's background? Oh, she works at Coinbase. She's the head of U.S. policy.
I love it.
Out of Washington, D.C. She used to be a legislative assistant.
That's all.
Probably no big deal, right?
Something tells me
Nothing. I mean, power
we're
players.
gonna join this
only
organization.
2 out of the
I already
4.
feel it.
I'm thinking it's probably going to happen. I mean, we're going to reach out to him next. So that's 2. So I got Seth, right, and Sierra. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're just there
But
supporting.
so 2
the
amazing
thing.
people.
So let's
and
just check
2
out Seth.
crappy people.
Yeah, I mean that happens sometimes, right? I mean, you never know.
Of course.
Oh well, look, Seth,
Head of policy.
Ledger, no, MBD.
Man, this is a
He's
stacked
probably
organization.
no big thing.
And actually, this is just the board, right? This isn't even like the organization itself. Can you imagine the members that are in this thing?
Oh no, it's gonna get better. We got one more left.
Yes.
I think it was Sierra. Is that right?
Oh, it's quicker this time.
Yeah, probably. Oh, special counsel at Cooley.
Oh, of course.
Harvard Law School.
Of course.
I mean, Cooley is one of the preeminent crypto law firms
100%.
out there. And so there you go. Special counsel. He's only been there a few years. He was Cooley associate a while back. He's crypto counsel for Paradigm. I don't know that company. You may. It sounds like it's a company in the space.
There's a lot of companies in this.
So what do you think? What do we think about our new crypto industry kind of silent crypto freedom alliance of Texas?
I think that's going to be
these are
like
ballers.
That's something we need to get into.
Now I think I'm in. We'll take this episode from here.
Yep.
This is what happens when you go down the rabbit hole. We're like, okay,
but just know that
what
you
if,
can
what else,
too.
what more,
you can
what
Google
next?
like some kind of crypto or blockchain meetup in your state, town. I'd like, don't be surprised that they have them. They're all over the place, and everybody is usually really, really, really nice.
Yes, and just remember Dionna's principle that you got to find out where the people are. Because do you see how much more intriguing, compelling, important, significant that this particular organization is? I mean, you're talking about a connected group of heavy hitters playing ball in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
There's something at stake here bigger than the moment. It's at stake for all of us, and in particular for the state of Texas.
Yeah.
But why is DC so interested in what's going on here?
I love it.
They see opportunity.
Fight the good fight.
Now, yes, that is the Dionna principle that takes you to the next level of understanding. And the Jim principle is, what do we do to depict the present? Why are all these people so motivated, strategically interested, involved?
Well, it's probably a liability. Think of like, who knows what the SEC is threatening people with. Maybe they just say, hey, this loophole is so big that, we don't want to put ourselves out there. We want to get ahead of it before we have to, respond to it. I mean, I think that's just good policy. We knew a long time ago when that was coming out. I feel like that bill probably went through around 2020-ish, 2021. And I believe the Texas Blockchain Council was actively working to kind of petition to say, hey, look, this didn't make sense. And we were petitioning Congress to say, hey, you guys, this doesn't make sense. I mean, whoever done the law, we were hitting everybody we can, say, look, either give us guidance or something. This doesn't make sense. And now it feels like you have to take legal action in order for anything to move. And that's the sad thing. It's too long. It's too slow.
Yeah. And Dionna, look, we've done, I think 27, 28 episodes. This may be the breakthrough episode. This is the one that needs to get circulated out there and help us figure out why a guy who was the CFTC commissioner, works at Andreessen Horowitz, went to Georgetown University, why somebody who is the U.S. head of policy at Coinbase, why somebody who is a special counsel on cryptocurrency at Cooley, and why somebody who is the global head of policy at Ledger, I mean, the most reputable institutions in the space are getting together in Texas's backyard to sue the SEC.
Yeah, because Texas wants to embrace crypto. God bless Governor Abbott for it, because he wants it, he welcomes it, and I'm not surprised people find safe haven here in the support of Texas to do things like this.
Well, I think it's interesting that they're picking the fight from this jurisdiction. That's partly what you're saying, is that we're making favorable legislation in the great state of Texas, and it's attractive to not only to miners and to other countries, but to all the policymakers that are going to help shape the space. And I do believe, for those of you that live like Dionna and I do in Texas, this is a place, if not the place, to be. And maybe that's where we'll leave this episode, Dionna. I appreciate all that you do.
Bye, everyone.
And have a great day. Thank you.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time, watch. I don't know how I got